Hey guys, it is time for the Starfall Ball. So what are you wearing? Who are you taking? And how does your story unfold?
Cinderella, I think I'll find your glass slipper, baby.
Hey guys, if you are new here, welcome to The Book Path. I'm Nicole, and if this isn't your first rodeo, thanks for sticking around. It is time for the Romantasy-athon readathon, if you will. I thought I would pop out my little Romantasy t-shirt. It seemed it's freezing, so we've got the long sleeves underneath it, but I thought it was appropriate. And basically what Romantasy-athon is, it's a 1 week long readathon in February. It is going from the 16th through the 22nd. So this is kind of the second to last week in February. And basically you are attending Starfall Ball, and based on the prompts you have selected ahead of time as the readathon goes on, information will be given to you as to what those prompts really meant. And this goes to what you are wearing, who you are bringing, your background in this fantasy world, what trope you're experiencing with your date, your weapon, because obviously something's going to happen, and some bonus prompts that will give you, I don't know, maybe some extra abilities, everything. Those are all very secret, and they will be a surprise as the readathon goes on. So we're going to go ahead and go through my picks for the board and what we've kind of chosen. So first up, we have our what to wear prompt, kind of I don't know if it's gonna be the color of your dress or whatnot. So I ended up choosing to read a book with a black cover as our prompt. And for that, I have picked up Blood Crush by Soraya Condi. I hope I pronounced that right. And basically what we have, this is like it's a Blood Crush series. This is book one in the series. And it's gonna be interesting because I'm gonna try to read the blurb, but it's all in one paragraph. So if I if I get a little confused, it's because everything's kind of together. But basically you have the little blurb saying, "He was my first love, and now he's my deadliest threat. Trusting him could be the end of me." And so you have, I'm assuming it's Tamsin's point of view. "I fled the gentle whispers of my Cornish village for the cold streets of London, where my dreams of becoming a jewelry designer are crushed by the weight of the city's shadows. The city feels like it's sucking the life out of me, but I never thought it would literally drain me dry. At a restaurant, I see a face I thought belonged to a ghost. Tom, my teenage obsession, the boy who vanished under shrouds of mystery and left a community in mourning. But Tom is dead, or so I believed. When he finds me again, my world unravels. A brush with death leaves me disoriented, my veins burning with a hunger I can't control. I awaken to a dark Tom has transformed me into one of the undead. Now I am bound to a world steeped in eternal light, a brutal underbelly ruled by ancient bloodlines, secrets, and lies. This Tom is no longer the boy I yearned for. He's a predator with secrets as deep as his scars. In this vicious society, love is a fragile curse and loyalty is a weapon. Despite the peril, I can't resist Tom's lure. His touch, his voice, everything about him calls to the part of me that remembers the boy I once loved. But trusting is difficult. At times he is my savior, and at other times the architect of my ruin. As the darkness tightens around me, I must cling to the girl I was or embrace the monster I've become. One choice could damn me." So it's going to be interesting because the fact that it says that it's a polyamorous vampire clan, I'm curious to see how that's going to unfold. But it says that it has unrequited love, fated mates, second chances, heart-rending twists. So we shall see how this goes. But yeah, that is going to be my black cover for my what to wear. So next up, we are going to discover who we bring. And there were a bunch of different prompts for this one, and I decided to go with the first in the series because there was a lot of ebook series that I had the first books for that I just hadn't done yet. So we are going to do book one in the Lady Blade series, which is Mistress Guard by Clara Wills. And this kind of feels like a reverse harem romance as well. It could be a why choose, we shall see. But basically, I may be a woman, but as a hardened warrior, I'm convinced romance isn't for me until 3 unlikely suitors come my way. My name is Tessera, and as a female mercenary, I take what jobs I can get. So when the Prince of Perlia asks me to guard his illicit mistress, I can't say no. If only Kelric Dracoson, my old flame turned most hated rival, hadn't recommended me for this job. The last thing I want is to have to thank him. Still, the job should be easy enough, and I do need the money. And soon after, another job falls into my lap. A handsome nobleman wants me to teach him sword fighting. I don't know why he's come to me instead of the many other men who might teach him, but he says he has his reasons, and I'll take the work. It helps that Leman of seven stars is easy on the eyes. Who knows, maybe instructing him could lead to other, more pleasant activities. Then my adopted brother Dazar, a big shot magic user, starts acting strange around me while things with Leo are heating up. And Kelric might just be vying to get back into my life. Suddenly things are getting a lot more complicated for me, and it has nothing to do with my dangerous line of work. So, yeah, it could be very interesting. It could be a reverse harem. It could be a why choose. We don't know. But it'll be interesting to find out. So next up, we are going to get some information on our character background a little bit. And for this, I chose the prompt to read a book with Fae in it because a lot of the books I have Fae in it, so that was a little bit more easier. And we're going to do book 1 in the Starling series, and that is Crown of Blood and Stars by Dana Leanne. And this one is Guardian of the Stars, Slayer of the Wicked, and Commander of Internal Darkness. Adina Devna finds herself the lone survivor of Astrari after a massacre was orchestrated by King T.B.R, Fae ruler of Tartarus. Abducted by the royal guard, Adina is brought to King T.B.R as potential human bride. An attack within the castle leaves the king dead at the hands of Adina. Her escape from the kingdom is unexpectedly aided by Drayden, the formidable yet handsome High Lord of the Fire Court. Ancient gold stars mark Adina's skin, a rare genetic mutation passed through the villages of Astrari. The dormant stars ignite as guarded feelings for Drayden combust into blazing passion. A connection from Drayden's past steps forward with critical information regarding Adina's ancestors. Wicked trouble brews in the night sky as Adina explores her destiny. All fingers point to the newly crowned king of Tartarus, Erebus. Adina and Drayden must return to Tartarus to fulfill a prophecy of the stars and stop King Erebus or risk losing the gods forever, allowing eternal night to take reign. So, could be interesting. We have prophecy, we have Fae, we have Tartarus, which, you know, obviously we get some Greek myths, so it'll be interesting if there's a crossover there. Because it does say a Greek mythology and astrology influence. So it would be really interesting to see how that plays into the book. But it sounds good. And I don't know if we're going to call it a bodyguard romance or not, because I'm assuming he's going to help her. But if he's a High Lord, is he going to act like that? I don't know. But it sounded good. Haven't really heard much about any of these really. So we're in for some surprises. So next up, we have our kind of date trope is who is our date to us? Are we in some sort of love triangle? Are we in a harem? What are we doing? So the prompt that spoke to me the most was to read a book with enemies to lovers, because that is, while I do love some of the harems and the waishus and the love triangles and things, I love the banter and the sarcasm and wit that usually plays into a lot of the enemies to lovers stories, because I don't know, that one just makes me happy. And this is probably the brightest cover out of all the books. Apparently I have a thing for dark book covers. I don't know, they speak to me. But we are going to pick book 1 in A Feud So Dark and Lovely, and that is The Goblin's Bride by Lee Kelsey and Lysandra Glass. And so for this one, we have, he thinks I'm an innocent bride. He'll learn the truth with my knife to his throat. The Goblin Prince killed my sister. Twisted with grief, I've waited for the chance to get justice for years, and the perfect opportunity presents itself. The Goblin Prince will agree to a ceasefire with his human enemies, but only if a sacrifice is given, a human woman, a bride. Veiled and shrouded, I offer myself as the prince's sacrifice, wearing a liar's smile as I wait for sundown so I can cut his throat in his sleep. But the Goblin Prince is indestructible, and worse, he's cultured and charming. If I'm not careful, I'll lose my head or my heart. So obviously you have the enemies to lovers big time in this one. We have the stabby little main heroine there. But it'll be interesting to see how that plays out. I normally don't do a lot of like goblin books. just because the goblins are presented different. Like goblins and orcs are not really my thing, but we're gonna try it out and see, because I think in this one they make the goblins a little bit more humanish, so that'll be interesting. Okay, so our next thing that we are going to discover is, what weapon are we bringing with us? What are we doing? And so for this prompt, I don't know what weapon, because you're just choosing the prompt. I am choosing the prompt to read a book by a new author, because a lot of the ebooks I have are by authors I've never read from. So we are going to go with book 1 in The Curse of the Fae. I know we're having a lot of series started with these readathons, and we need to finish series, but apparently that is not in the cards for us at the beginning of 2025. And so, like I said, we are reading book 1 in The Curse of the Fae, and that is A Deal with the Shadow King by Anya J. Cosgrove. Obviously we're back to the dark covers again, and this one was just really intriguing with the skull and the colors. So I really liked this one. A dark bet between kings, my father sold me out to the Shadow King. He made a reckless deal to save my mother, and I must pay the price. Forced to live in Fairy with King Damien and his sinful court, now I must learn to protect myself from the nightmares, dreams, and fantasies that govern this mysterious land. I shall not flee. I shall not give in. I shall endure. If I don't, my kingdom will fall. The Shadow Court is in ruins, and its king too. Nothing will get in the way of my duty, not even a witty, flawless beauty like Penelope Darcy. The rules of the curse are simple. We never take off our masks. We avoid unnecessary contact with the High Fae. We don't keep secrets from each other. I've got to win this wretched bet, even if I have to chop that princess into little pieces and feast on what's left of her soul to achieve it. So, it says this book has elements of like enemies to lover, forced proximity, Beauty and the Beast, and Hades and Persephone in this. And I love the little thing. The mysterious Shadow King is hot as sin, and the secrets of his world will bring any mortal to their knees. So this is going to be interesting, because it sounds like Penelope is going to be the thorn in the main character's side. Maybe this is like her big opponent to win the Shadow King. Who knows? We shall see how that turns out. Now, there were options to have bonuses in there. There's not really anything as to what these bonuses are. I'm assuming maybe that's going to be like an extra thing that if you did the bonus, you get a little extra help in whatever unfolds at this ball. And there's not really any prompts for the bonus prompts. It's just kind of to read Romantasy. And there is a book that I have been wanting to read for a while. I've heard it's had some really good reviews out there in the book community. And that is Wicked Games book number 1, Phantasma by Kaylee Smith. This is supposed to be a super, super steamy book. But it says Caraval meets Throne of the Fallen in this spicy, dark romantasy where a necromancer needs help from a dangerous phantom to win a deadly competition, only to find their partnership puts her at risk of breaking the game's most vital rule, don't fall in love. When Ophelia and her sister discover that their mother's been brutally murdered, there's no time to grieve. Ophelia has inherited both her powerful death-driven magic and enormous debt on their home. Circumstances go from dire to deadly, however, when Ophelia's sister decides to pay off the loan by entering Phantasma, a competition where most contestants don't make it out alive and the winner is granted a single wish. The only way to save her sister is to compete, but Phantasma is a cursed manor with twisting corridors and lavish ballrooms and filled with enticing demons and fatal temptations. Ophelia will need to face 9 floors of challenges to win if her fears don't overtake her first. When a charming, arrogant stranger claims he can protect and guide Ophelia, she knows she shouldn't trust him. While Blackwell may not seem dangerous, appearance can be deceptive. But with her sister's life on the line, Ophelia can't afford to turn him away. She needs to ignore the overwhelming dark attraction drawing them all closer and closer together, because in Phantasma, the only thing deadlier than losing the game is losing your heart. So very interesting, competition in a manor with crazy rooms, and you must prevail, save your home, save your sister. It sounds like it's gonna be good. Like I said, I've heard some really, really good reviews about it. So those are all my tropes. Well, not my tropes, but those are all my choices for how I will be attending the Starfall Ball. As time goes on and these books are read, hopefully we'll find out what everything means. And when we do our wrap up, you will get to know how my journey and how my time went at the Starfall Ball and just what unraveled. So yeah, stay tuned for that. Other than that, let me know if you guys are joining. I will leave, like I said, I'll leave the link down below so you can get some more information, and let me know kind of if you are joining, maybe what some of the prompts you chose are, and we will see how our adventure kind of the similarities and the differences and what our stories are. I look forward to hearing from that. But other than that, stay safe, stay well, stay healthy, and I look forward to seeing you guys in the next video. Bye.
Where do you go to? Where do you go?